We are reviewing the Lost Distillery Stratheden blended malt whisky.
Hello, I'm Jo. This is Maximo. We are Tipples and Treats. Today we have a whisky.
We do.
It's a Scotch whisky.
It's a Scotch whisky.
But it's blended.
It's a blended malt whisky from the Lost Distillery. Mm-hmm. And this particular tipple is called the Stratheden Archivist. So we will be reviewing this whisky. Mm-hmm. So while you open that up, and if you can open it up and check out the bottle, it's in a nice container.
This is a tin. Is this one of your?
It's I think auction purchase number 6.
I just had a guess because it's like a bit
dinted. Yeah. So this is auction purchase number 6. I bought this for around about $70.50 Australian cents at auction, including fees. Mm-hmm. The recommended retail price for this is approximately $154 to $160.
On the pricey side?
Pricey side, but I think it's a damn good auction buy. Mm-hmm. It's probably 35-40% of the recommended retail price. I think I've done well.
Of course, you wouldn't be buying it if you didn't think you'd done well.
Indeed.
It's an interesting black bottle.
It is. It's sort of a frosted bottle.
It's matte.
Matte black.
Black.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's painted. You can't see through it at all, can you?
No.
Or is it black glass, or?
Who knows what it is, anyway. So the Lost Distillery, their motto is to try and create the whiskies of a bygone era. And they use a variety of techniques to try and replicate some of the distillers in Scotland that have ceased to be. So that's what they do, hence the name the Lost Distillery.
Yes.
So the Stratheden Distillery was situated in the centre of the market town called, you'll have to help me with this, Auchtermuchty. What does that say?
Oh, that is a hard one.
Come on, you do better. Auchtermuchty. The Scots will probably send a drone strike to get me, but
I am not even going to attempt to pronounce that. Maybe we'll put it on the screen down here.
Yes.
And you can have a try.
You can have a crack. Yes.
To pronounce it. I reckon we need to put that into Google and ask it how to pronounce it.
Yes. Well, it's in Fife, in Scotland.
Yeah, we'll just say it's in Scotland, in a town with a long name.
Yes, so the earliest records, while you open that, the earliest records of distillery, it sort of dates back to 1829. And in that, since that time, the distillery had sort of three generations of ownership. And then the early 20th century, I think it all proved a bit too much for the family that owned this distillery. There was Prohibition in the UK, so that was quite a significant. Oh, that's a nice glug if you've ever heard one.
Sorry, in what? In when?
In the sort of 1926.
Right. I thought you said in the 20s.
19th century, yeah.
Yeah, different century.
Well, I can smell it from here. With Prohibition and rising costs, and they couldn't keep it afloat, so it actually closed down. That's really quite a light colour. It's got quite a nose on it.
Yep, it does.
It's sort of a
very
straw.
Pale,
yeah. Yep. So I'm just not sure on the maturation process of this. It doesn't actually say how many years it's in the bottle. I think it needs to be, I don't know, there's a certain number of years before it can be called a Scotch whisky, whether that's...
And you haven't got that on the...
No, it's not. No, 3
you better look
3
that
years,
up.
5 years. I'll put some descriptions down below.
I thought you were a whisky expert, mate.
in drinking rather than
Well, you need
every
to.
single fact and figure.
We're giving our viewers facts.
All right, well, I'll put the details below.
You think he should up his game a bit?
Yeah, I probably should. Too much drinking, not enough research.
It's a very interesting colour,
It
though.
is.
It's very light.
It's quite a. It's quite a delicate nose. It's sort of fruity. I don't know. The tasting notes say that it's flaky pastry, dotted with dry fruit and candied ginger, hints of earthy tobacco later on. And certainly
Flaky pastry, that is a little bit.
strange, isn't it? Certainly, it's sort of straw, sort of nose of cut straw, quite fruity, a little bit of spice coming through. I think. I'm eager to give this a try. It's 46% alcohol, and it's got quite a bite, hasn't it? Neat.
Yes.
It's sort of the tasting notes say it's caramel coated biscuit, salted butter, with a good whack of nutmeg.
It's a bit spicy.
It's quite spicy. It's delicate yet spicy. I think it's quite delicate on the not a strong finish. It's the predominant sort of taste and finish is spice, isn't it? It is a bit sort of, apart from the spice, it is a bit sort of smooth. It's quite an unusual.
It's fairly smooth. Not the smoothest I've tasted, but it's fairly smooth. Yeah.
I think it's a smooth taste.
Yeah. Let's
with the spicy
Let's
finish.
get the ice and see if it can bring out some of these other flavours, because I mean I quite like to taste a caramel coated biscuit, but
Yeah, I know.
at the moment I can't. That's enough.
One.
I gave you the larger serving. Did you notice?
Oh, thank you. Does it make up for the 50 gins that you've shortchanged me?
Yeah, exactly. Half the time you don't even notice.
Oh dear. What am I going to do with you, Joe?
It smells a bit creamier now.
It is. And it tastes creamier. The spice has been cut down by at least half. There's still the undertones of spice, but it's really mellowed it a lot, hasn't it?
Yes, it has a lot.
That's a nice scotch.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's pretty nice.
Pretty nice.
Yep. I don't
I've had
mind
much
that.
worse.
Yeah.
I've had a couple better, but
Yeah.
this is.
I'd say it's sort of mid to upper
I think so.
range of the favourites.
And for the price, it's probably, I tend to pay, I don't know, usually between $100 and $120 for a good
But
scotch.
not everyone's going to be able to get it at this price, because
No.
this was a special auction buy.
And I'd have a guess and say not everyone's going to get it at all, because I believe it's probably a travel exclusive.
Possibly, but people are travelling now.
Yeah, but I've got.
But would you pay full price for it and say it's worth it?
The concept was intriguing, and I actually bought a couple of bottles of whiskies from this distillery. It's sort of a chance to try perhaps a style of whiskey that I wouldn't normally try. I mean, this is a blended whiskey, so it's not a single malt, so it's probably made from different distillations. But I guess that's the point of their existence, is to draw on many different distillations and many different single malts, blend them together, and try and recreate the taste and the nose and the flavours of long lost distilleries, and all. Sometimes they have sample bottles that they can use, but other times it's only sort of historical records of what the whiskey tasted like. So, I took a bit of a risk with this during the auction, but I think paying auction prices, I think
you don't mind taking a bit of a risk.
The risk versus reward sort of equation sort of leans reasonably heavily on the reward rather than the risk.
But I think as well, having tasted a lot more different whiskies over the months, I think your palate has widened to embrace a wider.
It has, and I think what I used to like has I guess broadened. The most noticeable thing for me is I think I do like the peated whiskies now. I never used to really like sort of smoked food or smoked sort of eggplant, baba ganoush and stuff like that. I never really liked the things that tasted burnt to me. But, it just gives a different character and a different complexity to the whiskey. And yes, look, I've enjoyed this. I think this is quite a very smooth, agreeable whiskey.
It's pretty good.
Did you get your creamy biscuits?
I think if you sort of like had a bit of imagination, you could maybe imagine a bit of a biscuit. It's definitely became creamier, which I think is on its way to becoming that biscuity tones.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah?
And as the ice has melted and I've continued to almost finish this, it's sort of getting nicer and nicer.
Yeah.
So
I didn't have quite so much, so mine's fairly diluted now, I think.
Yeah. So I've really enjoyed this. I think this is a good buy.
One to recommend?
Yeah, and I actually made a second auction purchase of a couple of bottles, so I've got those hidden away in the cellar, waiting to come out to review. So yes, I've got quite a few, haven't I?
If anybody wants to come round and help to reduce the whiskey mountain, let us know.
I don't think I'll have any difficulty myself.
Depends how much you keep buying.
Yeah, well, and how much I keep drinking. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an equation, isn't it?
Well, winter's coming.
Yeah. Need a warming
tipple.
After work.
Yes. Indeed. So on that very pleasing note, if you've liked this, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. We've got more reviews coming, and we've got
lots as always,
and a number of on location reviews as well from our recent trip to Adelaide. So please stay tuned and hit the like and subscribe button.
Always.
On that note.
Cheers.